Welcome. Here is a brief update that I promised this morning. And first of all, thank you to everyone who contributed useful info on the stream. It's been really good and fun. I would have missed quite a few neat gems and interactions without you. First of all, I want to mention a brief note on the rotation again, so no one misses it, because a lot of people seem to struggle with boss damage, and it's probably, first of all, you always have to have a very high DPS or high crit bow if you are crit. All of your damage scales off your bow except the Plague Bearer, which scales off indirectly off your poison damage anyway. And always keep your highest possible physical and or crit bow you can. Second is a rotation for bosses. You can't just shoot Poison Burst Arrow. You have to use always, ideally, a Vine Arrow, which will copy some of the poison you deal as Chaos Dot, and growths. And the growths, the toxic growths, you want to explode using the strongest poison you can. So ideally, you shoot Toxic Growth, Plague Nova with a Vine Arrow already up. If you don't have Plague Bearer charged yet, which will charge in a couple arrows when you have good gear, then blast Poison Burst. Repeat. Keep the Vine Arrow up, growths, blow them up with Nova. If not, blow them up with Toxic Poison Burst Arrow, new growths, new Nova, etc. And just keep repeating, and that pretty simple boss rotation deals really good damage. If you want, especially for leveling, you can just use Gas Arrow on the boss and still one Vine Arrow and just blast the toxic growths into it, which will pretty much instantly explode. Just don't cast it too fast or they will just disappear. So, with that said, I have updated the build. A few people asked for my hideout, so I linked it exported on my Discord channel. And let's get into the changes. First of all, the tree, pretty much identical to the original plan. I have finally filled out my crit nodes. I have set up weapon swap, so I have all the crit, much of the crit stuff on weapon swap. And on the second weapon swap, I have all the curse bonuses. The curse this time around needs fairly high int, so path taking all the int nodes, and you should have enough int easily on your weapon swap to use level 18-ish Despair, which no longer has a level limit. The other change I made was to tame the Haste Aura Companion and remove the worst DPS nodes from here and take companion damage and reservation efficiency. This pet is called Flesh Pierce, and to get it, grab a Tame Beast gem, equip it. This will give you a skill that you cast on Flesh Pierce. After you have cast it and hit him, kill him, then he's yours. Done. And he is at this location. You simply go to the town in the middle interlude and look for him, and supposedly he's usually north. So easy peasy. And what I had to replace, because you need Brutus's brain to keep him supported and always alive, was the previous Unholy Might trick I found. However, this is still overall better on bosses and so on. So if you want to do Pinnacle boss session, for example, should swap to this combo. And this is as simple as have any minion you can command, add those supports, and anytime you command it, you get Unholy Might, which is 30% extra of all damage as chaos. Other quick notes on changes. I was very lucky to find Rislatha, but I would still go for Headhunter in trade. Otherwise, it's not really changed. Another good tip from the stream, you can use long fuse 2 on toxic growth. I tried it and it seems to work perfectly. No downside and 35% more damage. Pin is another skill support I often use on toxic growth. It allows it to pin any rare instantly in place since all of the nodules hit at once. It even pins bosses in place, those that can be pinned at least. And they get a small immunity, then they get pinned again, etc. It's really, really good quality of life. I finally managed to swap to crit, and for simplicity I keep it here, but it's still not the most damage for me technically, but I use it for consistency and high crit. I have now reached around 60%, bit more I think. So supports for companion, minion mastery, Brutus's brain, loyalty. I have not found anything else useful. You can bind a keybind. That does not count as command. You can't even socket this gem, sadly. But there is a keybind to command it. So the aura range is quite small. You see, if I just move, it can drop. So it's semi-not useful a lot of the time. But there is a key if you want to micromanage, you can command it. So if you always command it to run with you, you should be able to circumvent it, but that would be a lot of extra work. I've not figured a clever way to bind it yet, because PoE 2 is a bit restrictive in keybind allowance. And I have tried supports on and off on Plaguebearer and settled on Deadly Poison, probably being best. Some people like Bursting Plague, and it's a good replacement for Diala's Desire if you don't have it. You can also use Heft here, which is now allowed. But yeah, that should be it for now. Thank you for watching and see you on stream maybe.